everybody, it's me Tess with Tess Loves Yarn, and you guys, I am here today to talk about losing your crochet mojo. Yeah, we've all been there where we have lost our crochet mojo. Now, if you don't know what losing your crochet mojo is, that is when you find it extremely hard to pick up your hook and start making something, right? Or finishing something. That's another thing. That's a whole nother video, actually. Yeah. But what I want to do today, I want to give you a quick little tutorial of something that helps me when I'm feeling like I'm maybe starting to lose my crojo. I start doing this and it helps me tremendously. And I know that things in life can happen. You know, yeah, life events, right? Or we get busy, or for some reason, we're just not picking up our hook. Maybe it's a little anxiety or a little depression or something going on in your life. Or maybe it's like nothing you can really put your finger on, right? Yeah, a mystery. But I know that we all experience this at one time or another. So, the thing that helps me when I realize I'm starting to lose my crochet mojo is to make some little granny squares. And this is my little granny square, you guys. This is actually just a little daisy granny square that I make. This is like not a pattern. It's just a square I've been making for a long time. It's an 8 petal little daisy, and it's a 3 round granny square. And there's Thor. Honey, can you take care of Puppy? And so this granny square, sorry about that, guys. This granny square is 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So it's very small. But you can make these as big as you want. You just add more rounds after your flower. So your flower is only 2 rounds. And then you make it as big as you want by adding your rounds around, right? So, yeah, I just happen to like these smaller ones right now. They're super quick to make. Excuse me. They're super quick to make. I can make this little 2.5 by 2.5 3 round granny square in 6 or 7 minutes. Now, you guys, I have been doing this for years. I make these a lot. Now, if you're a beginner, you're not going to make this in 6 to 7 minutes, but it won't take you that long for even a beginner to make one of these, okay? And what that does, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, right? You get something done and you're looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, that is done. It's done. And that all automatically makes you feel better, because sometimes we start on these projects and they take a long time to do, and that can be overwhelming. However, when you're doing a little square like this, they're quick and easy. Even if you add an extra round or two, it's still quick and easy, very quick and easy. And you can save these up, make as many as you want. You can save these up and turn them into literally anything. You can turn it into home decor, like a wall hanging or a rug or a pillow for your couch or a throw blanket. You can turn these into anything. Kitchen textiles. You can make dish rags. You can make drying towels or dish mats or trivets or anything like that out of these granny squares. Now, what my favorite thing to make out of granny squares is wearables. Like, I have a frog in my throat. Like I love making granny square skirts or granny square cardigans, granny square summer tops. You know, you make a bunch of these, you sew them together, you get a nice little granny square top, right? Um, I just love making granny squares because they're so versatile, they're so quick, and they give me that feeling of accomplishment, and it makes me want to pick up my hook more often. Okay, now I will link some other videos that I have done to help you. I have a video on tips and tricks for making granny squares. I have a video on how to mass produce granny squares in case you want to make a big project like a blanket or something like that. You can get a lot of squares done a lot faster if you follow my tips for doing that. Okay, so I'll link that video. I also have a video on how to seam these together to turn them into anything you want. And I will link that video as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn this camera around and I'm going to show you how to make this particular granny square, which I call my little daisy granny square. Yeah, original, right? But anyway, before I flip the camera around, I just quickly want to give all of my subscribers a big shout out and let you all know how much I appreciate you and how much gratitude I have in my heart for you guys. You guys are amazing. If you are new here to my channel and you like me, I would be tickled pink if you would hit that subscribe button. It's totally free for you and it helps my channel tremendously, and I would greatly appreciate it. All right. If you happen to be one of my private channel members, oh my gosh, you guys, mwah, you guys know I love you, and I have a surprise for you guys coming. We are going to do a live. I know we haven't done one in a long time, right? We're going to do a live very soon, so stay tuned for that. But with all that said, I'm going to flip the camera down and I'm going to teach you start to finish on how to make this super cute little daisy granny square. Okay, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our very middle color and we're going to begin. We're going to be working in the round. Now I'm going to use a magic ring, but you don't have to. You can crochet your 4 chains and then join your 4 chains and crochet into the middle of your 4 chains. However, I just really like magic rings, so this is how I make it. I put my hand like this. I grab the end of my yarn with my thumb. I wrap it around 2 fingers and I cross it right there. And then you come in with your hook. You pull that second strand underneath the first strand. Give it a little twist. Chain 1. Okay? And then here you go. You have your magic ring. All right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to put 8 single crochets into the magic ring, just like this. Okay, so you can pause the video here and continue to do that, or you can just hang in there with me and we'll keep going. All right, so here we go. I have my 8 single crochets now. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to that very first single crochet, just like this. Okay, and I'm gonna chain 1 to lock that in. All right, now you don't have to leave a big long tail, just enough so that you can tie this, and that's because this is going to be on the back side of your headband where nobody's gonna see it. All right, and you are going to make a certain knot that will not come out, and then you can clip the string off and it's not going to be that noticeable. All right, so now we're going to come in with our petal color. I'm using yellow because I want this to be more of a fall headband since it's already August 9th. All right, so what you want to do is you want to count your stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is stitch number 8 right here because you want to go into your stitch that's next to your finished off color. All right, we're going to leave a little bit of a tail so we can tie these two colors together, and then we can snip that yarn off and we don't have to weave in any ends. I really like this method because I am lazy. I am very lazy, y'all. I don't like to weave in the ends. All right, so I'm leaving a little bit of a tail there, and I'm going to chain 1. And then I am going to turn my work over and I'm going to make my knot. Now I'm going to hold this up so that hopefully you can see it. So you have your two color ends coming out like this. You're going to take the color on your right. You're going to cross over the color on the left and tie your first knot. Okay? Now you're going to take your color that is now on the left, cross it over the top of the color that's on your right, and you're going to tie another knot. So what it is right over left and then left over right. You're going to pull it really hard, and then you're going to trim very close to that knot. Now this knot's not going to come out, y'all. It's in there. All right. So now we're going to continue. Now we're going to make 4 double crochet clusters in each stitch, but in each of these single crochets, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I do it a little differently, okay? So we have our chain 1 here. We're going to go back into that same stitch, pull up a loop, and we're going to make a single crochet. All right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go into that sidebar right there. Let me grab that. Okay, I've got the sidebar. You're going to pull up a loop and pull off one, just like this. And now you're going to stop because you're going to make your cluster, okay? So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go back into that very same single crochet. We're going to yarn over and we're going to take off 2, just like that. And now we have 3 loops on our hook, and we have 2 double half, it's not a half double crochet, partially made double crochet. There we go. We're going to do this 2 more times. Yarn over, go into that same single crochet, that same stitch, yarn over here, take 2 loops off, and now we have 3 partially made double crochets. We're going to yarn over, go back into that single crochet 1 more time, yarn over, pull off 2 loops, and now you have 5 loops on your hook, and this is your indicator that you are done with this cluster. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 5 loops. You're going to chain 1 and 2, chain 2, and then you're going to go into the next single crochet. Now make sure you pull this over so that you can see where that next single crochet stitch is. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do this now slightly different because we don't have to build up that stacked double crochet anymore. So we're just going to yarn over. You're going to go in, pull the loop up, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, pull up that loop, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, pull up that loop, take off 2, yarn over, go back in, all in the same stitch, pull up that loop, take off 2 until you have 5 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and you're going to take off all 5 loops, and you're going to chain 2. Now you will repeat this in every one of these single crochets all the way around, okay? So you can pause the video now, and when you get to the end, we'll meet back, all right? So here we go. And here we are at the end of that. I have 8 double crochet clusters now. I'm going to come into my very first stitch that I made, and I am going to, finish this off just like this with a slip stitch and a chain 1. And once again, you do not have to leave a very big tail, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with our very last color, because these granny squares are only 3 rounds because it's a headband. You don't want it to be too wide, okay? Now if you do want it wider, by all means do 4 rounds, okay? But for my headband, I only do 3 rounds, all right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this tail and we're just going to pull it through the top of our stitches until we're in the next chain 2 space, and we're going to pull it out the back onto the back side, okay? And now we're going to join our 3rd color. For me, it is this lovely green, okay? We're going to insert our hook, and we're going to just pull that color through and do a chain 1, just like we did before, okay? And we're going to turn our work over, and we're going to tie this. And once again, it is right over left. Tie your knot. And then left over right. And tie your knot again. Okay? And now you can simply cut those ends off at your knot. And you are not going to lose your yarn. That knot is not going to go anywhere, all right? So now we're going to go back in, and we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to go into that side loop, because I don't like doing chains. I don't think it looks enough like a double crochet, where this looks more like a double crochet. Go in through that side loop, pull up a loop, and then do another single crochet on the top. You guys, this is called a stacked, I believe it's called a stacked double crochet. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to put 3 double crochets into this chain 2, into this chain 2 space, okay? So let me get this in here. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to put 3 double crochets into each chain 2 space, and you are not going to make any chains in between these. You're just going to yarn over, go in, just like this. You're going to make a double crochet, okay? You're going to yarn over, make another double crochet, another double crochet, so you're going to have 3 double crochets. So you have this grouping of 3 double crochets, then you're going to have this grouping, okay? Now, I know this is doesn't seem right, but bear with me here, because when we come back around, we are going to finish off in this original right here as a corner, okay? So this is going to be a corner. This is going to become a corner at the end. So this is a middle group of 3 double crochets, and then we're going to go into the next chain 2 space, and we are going to make a corner by doing 3 double crochets in that chain 2 space. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to go back into the very same chain 2 space because we're making a corner, and we're going to put 3 more double crochets. So we're going to have a total of 6 double crochets in our corners, okay? So there is our first fully made corner. And then we're going to go into our next chain 2 space and do 3 double crochets. This is not a corner, so it's only going to get 3 double crochets. Now our next chain 2 space is a corner again, so we're going to do 3 double crochets right here, and then we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to do 3 more double crochets. So you'll have 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets, all in that same chain 2 space. And there we have our next corner. We're going to go into the next chain 2 space without chaining. You see, no chains here. We're going to make 3 double crochets. Here we go. 3 double crochets. Okay? Now, our next space is going to be another corner. So 3 double crochets, and we're going to separate our grouping of 3 double crochets with 2 chains, and then we're going to go back into that same space and do 3 more double crochets, which is going to form a corner. Okay, now we're going to go into the next chain 2 space, which is going to be a side grouping, and we're going to just do 3 double crochets, okay? Just like that. Now we're going to finish this corner that we started, okay? We're going to go into this same space where we started. Make sure if your knot is showing that you cover up that knot. Sometimes it likes to peek through onto the front. Yarn over and go ahead, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in here. Just like that. And now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to join at that very first stacked double crochet that we made when we first began this layer, this round, all right? And I'm going to chain 1, and this time I'm actually going to leave a longer tail because this is the round that you do have to weave in, unfortunately. Okay, so this is our little sunflower granny square. Okay, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make these little daisy granny squares. They are awesome. They're so relaxing to make, and I guarantee you it will help you get your crochet mojo back. All right? So thank you again for joining me here today. Learning how to do this and just being a part of this, okay? Because it's important to keep our minds and our hands busy, right? It's all good. Now, with that said, everybody, get your yarn out and start making some of these little daisy granny squares. And if you make something with them, let me know. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you're going to make with these daisy granny squares. Also, leave me a comment and let me know, have you ever lost your crochet mojo? If so, how do you get your mojo back? I would love to know. Yeah. Now, you know what comes next, right? Be kind and be safe out there in the world, no matter where you are. And I will see you all next Sunday. All right? Bye, everybody.